It's the last class of the series, of our 4-week series for getting ready for back to school. And so we are going to hit this one out of the park because it's one that's just, it encompasses like your whole life, not just back to school time. And hopefully you're going to leave here feeling more empowered and ready and excited actually to implement a lot of these things into your life. So let's get going, shall we? Hopefully we can get this in 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll keep my eye on the clock over there. I'll squint because I don't have my glasses on.
There's a lot to go through.
There's a lot to go through, but I have a handy book that I'm gonna make sure that everyone has a copy of so that you don't need to like ferociously write down every single recipe or idea. You're gonna have it at your fingertips. If you're already a member of our community, meaning you're a customer of ours, you already have a copy of this book, but you know, sometimes it gets buried in emails and sometimes we have the best of intentions to open up an email and then we don't and it gets deleted. So I wanna make sure you have it. All right, so today's topic is getting back your sovereignty, stepping into your power, you know, and not having to always get an answer, an idea, a solution, or approval from an upper power or an upper authority figure, let's say.
I think we need this more than any time before.
Absolutely. And then in that, we're just linking in how to reduce your toxic load. So it does connect because that one idea, like Derek says, like it links with every single thing that we're going through in the world right now and maybe wherever you happen to be in your own place in life. So let's do it.
Absolutely.
Ready to roll?
Go.
Okay, so now more than ever, we are finding that we're maybe questioning systems, we're maybe questioning messaging, definitely the media. I think we can all agree on that we're all pretty like skeptical of whatever the media wants to suggest right now. And so we're encouraging everyone to be that critical thinker, to question, to ask, to do your own research. And don't take everything we say as like the end all be all either. We take all of our information from multiple sources, our own research, our own experience over the past almost 7 years, I guess, now that we've been with doTERRA.
Yep.
And we like to make informed choices based on science, based on actual studies and peer-reviewed journals. And not only that, but our own instinct, our own intuition, our own results that we see in our home.
Yeah, and then trying it and seeing whether it really works.
Yeah, seeing what works for us and not letting someone else dictate what that might be, right? So, and that's why we say, like, whatever you're doing with our oils as a community, you know, it's gonna work fabulous for some people and other people are gonna have to really dig to find solutions that work for them and their bodies and their homes. And so when it comes to building in healthy habits or swapping out things that maybe take some of your power away and adding in the elements that really boost your own natural power, I think, you know, you take it the steps that you can. You can do it piece by piece, little baby steps. As long as you're going forward, you're making some kind of change. That's awesome. You can't do it all and expect it all to happen overnight, right?
No, you can't do it all at once. And you definitely can't do it all at once and expect everything to happen overnight.
And you can't do it all by yourself, right? And that's why we're here. And we're really upping our resources and how we can be of more service to all of you. So we're adapting to our new environment. We know that you can't always be in our homes and learning how we used to learn, but we're trying to find out new ways that you're gonna be able to access the information in a simple way. You're gonna be able to find it. So we do have an exciting announcement that we are getting our YouTube channel up and running. So a lot of people are asking for copies of the classes that we've done. They get buried in Facebook. And so we're gonna make sure that that's all nice, neatly organized. And in our email we're sending out tonight, we're gonna have all of the series of our 4-week education series, back to school and back to you. So we will get that ready for you, and as well as a copy of the guide that we'll be referring to today.
All right, so let's talk about like the first thing that a lot of people start out with when they're using oils is they want to make their house smell nice.
Yeah.
And they get all these side benefits from doing that through diffusing. But I think that's one really key thing that was a big switch for you was when you were looking at all these candles and Febrezes and all these different sprays and plugins and all these things like throughout your house and in the bathroom and you know, your garbage can, like literally trying to deodorize and make everything smell nice. you didn't necessarily realize what was actually going in the air and the fact that you're breathing that in. And anything that goes in your lungs goes in your body. It's inside.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I think that's one of the key things that for detoxifying that a lot of people start out as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us get a little bit complacent, you know, as we become adults and get our own space, and even like when you're thinking about college, university, or off on your own apartment, whatever, we feel like we just want to do it all, and we want to have the best of it all, like the best smelling place, the best relaxing environment. You want to get all the things you want, right? So for me, Derek said it really lightly, but I was a scent addict. Like, he's really being really kind to me. I had candles everywhere, the sprayers and spritzers and all the fancy stuff too, and the beautiful perfumes and lotions, and everything was like, I want like the best brands, and yeah, they were expensive and they smelled amazing. And I felt pretty luxurious having them, right? Like a hair spritzer here and a perfume there, and the bubble bombs, bath bombs, and all that stuff. Plug-ins, the whole 9 yards. Like, it was like, I don't know, either a cookie factory in my house or a beautiful like spring day in my house, or Hawaiian tropic. Anyways, you guys get the point. But everything was scented, everything. And like I said, like as you're getting out on your own, you think you're pretty invincible, right? Like, hopefully, like generally speaking, that, you know, there's not a whole lot of health issues maybe yet that you might have to deal with, you know, as a young adult or whatnot. And so you think that your normal way of feeling is the best that you're ever gonna feel. Like at 23, I felt pretty invincible. Like, we first got married, and we had all the things plugged in and burning and all that. I felt like I was untouchable, right? Like, our health is generally good.
Agreed.
Nothing to worry about there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I also thought that having headaches every day was normal. I also thought that having disrupted periods was normal. I thought my skin shedding to the point of it being like pretty disgusting, so I'd always be slathering on lots of lotions. That was normal, like everyone dealt with it. And I did the standard thing. I went to the, first of all, I tried every potion and lotion I could. And then I went to the doctor because I figured something must be wrong with me, right? Headaches all the time, skin being gross, hormone disruption, that kind of thing. Must be all me, so give me the solution, I'm gonna do it. And I went to all the specialists. Went to saw a dermatologist, went to see a person for my ears, nose, throat, and optometrist, ophthalmologist, and like...
And they had the answers for you.
Yeah, so they said, oh, that's weird, like women your age all seem to have these problems. Do you take, I won't say the brand, do you take this...
over-the-counter medicine for headaches.
Do you take it all, you know, frequently? Yes. Do you
have fragrances and different things in your house? Yes, and all these different things, and other
prescription-based things. Are you taking this? Are you taking that? Yep, I am. I'm still having these headaches and these problems and these issues. Well, that's kind of odd. And like Derek said, they linked the things that he just mentioned to you. So they're saying, are you on these things? And that's a normal part of your day. Well, we don't have anything to tell you that it's not good for you or that it's causing it, but isn't that interesting? I'm going to add you down as one of the numbers in my study, right? So,
and they move on.
And they move on because there was nothing to offer me except another prescription and another over-the-counter to help with the symptoms. It's like throw a Band-Aid here, throw a Band-Aid there. And it was getting pretty frustrating because if you are in pain or if you're dealing with anything that is really annoying, like skin can be really annoying, reactions are very annoying, you start to not feel so great, right? It starts to affect you emotionally, and there's no solution for that. And I just figured that's how it is. This is how life is. You know, you're over 20, forget it. Your health goes downhill from here. And I had no idea that it was the things that I'm using in my house contributed to those issues I was having. Right?
And these are some of the issues with Western medicine, is that as a paramedic, I mean, I know that when something specific, something targeted is wrong, an emergency, we know what to do. When there's a very specific problem where it meets all the symptoms and passes all these tests, we know what to do. But on these chronic things with ambiguous symptoms, and Western medicine does not function well in that because it's not specific. There's no exact attribution to an issue, and they just kind of, yeah, maybe, and that's usually what you end up with, and it becomes very challenging. And then you really are on this journey for yourself to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, because for me it was like, go to the next doctor, go to the, whoever. And it wasn't until one night, like I was frantically searching online, like what can I do for these headaches? It was getting to the point of being pretty ridiculous that I actually had to take a great big bottle of those pills to work with me just to get through my day, because my allergies were so bad, my headaches were so bad. It just was a normal way of being for me, and I was fed up with it, because after I saw one of my specialists, when they mentioned that type of brand and that type of pill I was taking, it made me think, are they kind of suggesting that these things that we consider safe and no side effects, even though, by the way, if you check on the bottles and check through all the stuff, there's a whole ton of side effects that are listed, like they tell us, but we never look. But anyways, I'm digressing there. But I realized no one's coming to save me, and there's no specialist out there unless, I don't know, I keep looking, maybe a different country or something. I'm not going to find that solution.
No one cares about your health more than you.
So, like you cared, you tried to help me.
I know, but no one cares more than you.
Totally.
If you don't care enough to make some changes or to look at what you're doing, no one is going to care more than that. Yeah. That's just the way it is. Yeah. And even though other people care, they're not necessarily going to solve your problem, because if you don't care more than everyone else, it's just not going to get it done.
And even if you're not experiencing pain, but maybe you're feeling this kind of like brain fog, or you're feeling slowed down, or you're feeling like you should have more energy for the amount of like either fitness or what you're doing in a day, like you feel like I shouldn't be this sluggish. I shouldn't have to have 10 cups of coffee just to get me through my afternoon, right? Like if you're feeling these things, or any of those things are kind of familiar sounding, or someone like that, I think it's time to release that idea that someone's going to come and rescue you and make it better, or that you have to be living like that forever. Like you don't have to be that, right? You're not a victim of your genes, you're not a victim of your age. We saw a lot more of that when we were traveling. We saw how people live their lives, and like there's 90-year-olds hiking up great big like mountains, and just crazy. The way of life here is not the way of life around the world, and so you don't have to, just because you see the way that a lot of lives are being led, it doesn't have to be your story or the end of your story or middle of your story. Like you can change. So that piqued my curiosity. I was looking online, I'm like, what in the world can I possibly do here? There's gotta be some kind of holistic alternative. So I did the Google. I looked through, I found all sorts of people on the internet, as I'm sure you do whenever you go looking for these ideas or these answers. And I stumbled across Ange Peters, and so Whole Fit. So we post quite a bit from her, but she said something along the lines of, my life is very oily. If you're interested, you want to find out what that is, send me your email. And I was like, okay, well, sure, why not? I can just delete an email. But then I really got into it to see how the typical things bought on the shelves were actually, and not just her opinion or not just someone else's opinion, like are actually scientifically validated to be harmful to your health. Once you start getting into that and look at what the WHO deems as a carcinogenic, what they deem as hormonal disrupting, not only that, but I had friends that were getting pregnant or trying to get pregnant, and they'd all come to work and they'd have like the healthiest of foods, and they would make a comment about someone's perfume, and I gotta stay away from you, and I can't use the bathroom spray, and I can't do all these things. And we're like, well, why? Oh, because I'm trying to get pregnant. And I don't know, like something like switched in my head, like, wait, if the doctors are telling you not to eat these things, not to use these products or put these products on you or be around these sprays, and we had lots of friends that were suffering from just that trial to get that going. They cut out a lot of things that we use on a regular basis in our home, and I'm like, wait, hold on. If they're trying to conceive life and put the best environment in place for a possible baby, the medical establishment saying this ginormous list of things is like a big no. I'm like, holy man.
Maybe we should be doing that all the time.
Maybe we want to support our life. We should be thinking about what we can change. So these aren't like crazy, like conspiracy ideas here. Like this is legit. So we looked at that and we thought, well, if this Ange person has a solution to swap out my candles for a nice smelling diffused area, let's try it. Because I don't want my house to smell like our dog. That's always a thing. Yep. I want our house to smell nice and fresh, and I want it to be welcoming. But I don't want those chemicals in my home anymore. So if you're panicking right now saying I have those in my home, phase them out or remove them or
Give them away.
Give them away, whatever you want to do. Because if you have oils now, you can make any aroma that you like. But that's where we started, just swapping out those things that were just the extras. And then we noticed the side benefits, like Derek said.
Yeah.
Like good mood, weird stuff about, you know, congestion-wise, and then immunity-wise, like we weren't getting sick as often. Different things started happening for us that we were just like, hey, and you guys know the rest of the story, right? When I put the cedar wood on the bottom of Derek's big toe and got the Serenity on,
Yep.
he slept through. Anyways, I don't need to do a repeat of that, but we started to swap out the old things that we knew were harmful and add in the things that would actually provided a health benefit. Like diffusing can actually help clean your air and actually help to open your airway so that you get more breath in, right? Or so it affects your limbic system so that your mood changes, or it can be uplifted when you're feeling stressed out, or it can calm you down before you go to sleep. So these just blew my mind, and we haven't looked back since. And we had no intention of doing this, like sharing the oils at all, let alone do a business. But when you see these dramatic results, like you just can't help but tell people, and I know a lot of you on here are experiencing that yourselves. So the aromas, that was the big deal. That also meant perfumes, lotions, potions. Easy to swap out when you're with doTERRA, right? We have so many beautiful things. If you look at our skincare line, like that was the other, like, oh my gosh, the stuff I used to use to wash my face. And guys, look at the ingredients. It'll scare you. Make the swap over, try it out. You're gonna love every product. They're infused with the oils, and they're amazing for your skin. They're constantly looking to improve how can you be better for your body too. So
yeah, and if you're looking for more information on that, there's a really good special on Netflix called Scent. Is that what it's called?
oh, what was it? I think it's Scent.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll post it below because I know we've referred to that one, but
It's really good to tell
Yeah.
you what those chemicals are and those things that are really, really
Yeah.
big deal.
yeah, so just cutting those out, we've had many customers say that their children's health has improved dramatically just by those things, and then making the swaps out for cleaners, because when you go into the cleaner rabbit hole,
I think this is important. So cleaners, beside what you put on your body and in your air, cleaners are like the next thing that are the most toxic, and maybe actually they're more toxic than the other things depending on how much you clean. And a lot of people are cleaning now more than they ever have before. And those chemicals are literally used as poisons and all these things that are like really, really harsh. And people are using these on their food.
Yeah.
People are using these on their floor where their kids and their dog play. And they're using, diluted ammonia, which has been used for a long time to torture humans. Like when you look at what people are bringing in for cleaners, it's crazy how toxic this stuff can be.
and you're bringing it in with the best of intentions. Like I never brought in stuff to our home thinking it's gonna attack Derek's immune system.
No.
Like no one thinks that. And I think part of stepping into your own sovereignty is recognizing that just because it's on a shelf somewhere doesn't mean it's necessarily healthy or healthful or not hurtful is another thing we have to look at too. You'll see the warning labels on the backs of things like your toothpaste, do not ingest. doTERRA doesn't have that warning on theirs. Start to look at what's in the ingredients of cleaners, of facial products, spa products, toothpaste, like the whole shebang, mouthwash, like don't even get me started on that. Just check out what's in it. Just be informed so that you can make an informed decision. And, until you know that life and your feelings and your energy levels can be different, you don't think that there's any real issue, but it accumulates over time. And you get what is called an accumulated toxic load in your system. So when your body's dealing with the plug-in chemicals and toxins, it's not able to fight things that are going on in the world or environmental threats, or it's not able to handle stress as efficiently as it would have if you didn't have those things, because it's already trying to protect another part of your system, right? So that's what we mean by looking at what things are going on for you right now. What can you do to swap them out with products that you trust and know that they're safe, and that you have complete control and power over. So the Supernatural Recipe Guide is something that all of our customers get for free. It's over 100 pages long, and it tells you straight out how to make all the common cleaners that are just as good or way better than anything I've purchased in my life, and I'm not just saying that with my bias. How to make your own serums for your face or your hair, or pure fumes, not perfumes. Looking at the list here, like holiday stuff. You guys love the holiday aromas. I do too. And I used to buy all the special things and get all excited when they came out at all the special stores in the mall, but you can do easy swap outs and not miss out on that fun and that hominess that you feel like when you have those nice products in your home, and know that it's not harming your body.
I think the challenge too with all this stuff is that as humans, our normal humanity is this gonna kill me right this second? Yes, no, move on.
Yeah.
That's all. As humans, we've been programmed since the beginning of humanity. And if you look at animals, they react the same way. It's very hard to get beyond this idea of, is this gonna harm me right this minute? No? Okay. Then you just ignore it and you keep going. And the things we're talking about, often, sometimes they do, but often they don't harm you that minute. But if you continue to use these things, if you continue to have all of them cumulatively, and when these things are tested, they're not tested cumulatively, they're used just one at a time. Okay, that's safe. Well, yeah, if you never use anything else, then it's safe. But you don't just use that. You have toxic exposure at work. You have toxic exposure every time you go to the grocery store. You have toxic, like...
You're walking on the street and all the carbon monoxide,
yeah, breathing it in. So you cannot avoid all things toxic. That's impossible. You just need to control the ones you actually have control over. And that's inside your house for sure. Yeah. The one place that your sovereignty still matters.
Absolutely. And the only one that you totally have control over as of right now, right? You can decide what goes on in your home. Even thinking about VOCs, whenever you have your windows and doors open up and it's nice and cool and you start to breathe in all these other scents, like those are volatile organic compounds that are in our airs, and we all in our air. And everyone says, well, it's organic, it's fine. But no, when you break down and you look at what it actually is, what is it actually doing? What is it based from? Of course, everything comes from the earth at some point, but you got to be thinking about, what does that mean if I can smell the laundry detergent from
7
5
houses
hours,
over,
which we can right now, by the way. So we better get our diffusers running. Think about how that affects your overall health, and not just is it hurting you right now, but down the road. Or if your body's dealing with this now, what's it not doing? What's it not able to do? So if you notice things like your digestion's off, whatever, like if there's something going on with the system in your body, it's because it's not able to, distraction with the
generator just fired
up. Generator just got fired up across the road from us. Because you are taking away, your body's focus is on that one system and helping to protect or guard, it's unable to then properly digest your food, let's say, or properly deal with the dandelions that are flying around and all the different types of pollen that's in the air right now. So just think about that and how that can accumulate over time, and think about, how can I take that control of my home and what I breathe in? How can I take that back, or what can I do to help combat it? Or not just seeing it as a combat, but just how can I support my body so that it has that extra little juice or that extra little boost or that helping hand, really, to make sure that it can focus on what it needs to do for your whole body, your whole system to work efficiently. So it's definitely something that opened my eyes up to how I was feeling and really made me think about my body as a whole. And that being said, everything happens on a cellular level. So when I used to teach this in my science classes, it would like blow everyone's mind that we are just a collection of cells, and what happens to one can have a huge impact on your overall body. So think about that with our organs. Your skin is your largest organ. What you put on it gets absorbed, right? You put on some lotion on your arm, it doesn't just hang out on your arm anymore. In a few moments, it's probably dry, it's gone. It didn't evaporate, it went in, right? So when it gets into your body, what's going down with that? What's happening there? So that's something to be mindful of too. You want to be putting stuff on or in your body that you know is good. And that's why it's so important not to just blindly trust things that people say, because the people that are trying to tell you stuff want to sell something, or they have an ulterior motive, right? That's what everyone knows behind any sale. So do your own research, or make sure that you're looking at the ethics of the company, what they stand for. We wouldn't be supporting a company that didn't have that high ethical standard. their whole premises is on making sure that everyone is getting helped with one drop at a time, right? So they are leaning in the direction of improving your health, right? So of course they want to sell a product, but they're doing it with a medical panel board, a veterinarian's panel board. They're doing some science and research that I don't know of any other company doing this. Check out the conference that they're having in September, because it's actually talking about things like epigenetics and how you actually have the power to determine your genetic future, right? We all think we're at the mercy of our genes, but the studies are showing it's the environment that we're in that can impact your genes. So
genes are just switches, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really, really important to know. You have those genes in your body. You have whatever genes you inherited from your family. You've got those. Those are yours. But they're switches, and you can turn them on and you can turn them off. And they've done many, many studies looking at those genes where you do something to turn them on, and then you can do something else to turn them back off. And that's why all of this is so important, that we start to give up this idea that we don't have control over what's going to happen to us in the future, and realize that we actually do have a lot of control over what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it's never just one little thing, right? Like, it's not like, oh, well, I swapped out my candles, so now I'm not going to get any disease that my family has. Like, that's not what we're saying, and that's definitely not what doTERRA promotes. But if you think about how all these little choices accumulate over time and what it does and how it impacts your body and your cells, we know that you don't just burn a candle and then it's gone the next day. Like, I don't know if anyone out there has been losing weight or has ever lost weight. You're working hard at it. There's stuff that sweats out of my cells. I just think, what in the world?
What year did they eat that?
Like, stuff hangs out and is stored in your fat cells too. Like, so that got a little weird, but it stays inside of you until you do something to help move it on out. And that's why a lot of people do these detoxing programs and that kind of stuff, which really, if we're looking at what real detoxing is, without all this, I almost said scams or fancy stuff, it's really just making switches to healthy eating, drinking water, getting rid of the toxins, like what we just talked about, reducing that toxic load, reducing that impact on your body, and adding in the good things that are going to support your health and support your body and cells. And that's what doTERRA products are, right? They aren't a magic cure-all. What they do is they help to support your body do what it's meant to do. And so part of that is to help move out the junk, right?
Our bodies specifically are experts at detoxifying. But if they're so busy doing 500 other things, some of these things are at the bottom of the list, and we'll just put that in the storage container for later. Yeah. And the problem is, if it's always so busy, it's never going to get the time to catch back up on those things. So when you make these changes, you allow your body to do those things that it wants to do. And like, that's why some of these detoxifying things, it's not that they're wrong, and some of these things they're advertising actually help you achieve those things, but they make it sound like it's a miracle detoxifying cure, when in reality all you're doing is helping your body do what it's supposed to do anyways. Mm-hmm. But you got to give it the time to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking about overall health, and because it's all connected, right? Like, the air you breathe, the environment that you live in, the foods you eat, the stuff you put in your body, on your body, all counts towards what your portrait of health looks like. And to try to assume that there's ever going to be just one quick change, it's false. You're being sold a lie, right? All things good don't just happen overnight. And I keep going back to this, like, I don't know where I heard this quote, but we don't expect like some kind of plant or flower to blossom overnight when the seed is just planted. Why in the world would we think we plant the seed and then tomorrow I'm going to wake up and it's going to be a beautiful flower or a beautiful harvest? Like, it's crazy.
I want that.
I know, right? Maybe there's companies that are doing that. I don't know. But why would we expect the same things from ourselves and our body's health? Like, why would I expect to lose 10 pounds because I worked out twice, right? Yeah. Or like I swapped out this food or that food, or I went on this diet program. Like, that's not sustainable, and it's not how life works. So if you want lasting change, you want a health that's going to last you a lifespan, not just a certain period, you need to be thinking about long-term changes and what those could be like for your family. And we're definitely not saying that you need to be perfect. Like, we're far from perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. But what little things can you change that you're going to feel that difference, and then you're going to want to keep going. And I think that's where my journey with oil started. Was I made one little switch. I didn't toss all my perfumes and candles out all at once, but the more I used the good stuff and how it made me feel, the easier it was to release all my beautiful bottles. Right?
Yep.
And I swap them in for my own perfumes and my own room sprays and that kind of thing. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it all at once. We have the guide for you. So literally the recipes are there. They're based again on experience and all those studies and everything you need to know. It's right there and it's handy. It's a free ebook. So all customers have a copy of that. If you've lost it, buried it in emails, deleted the email, reach out to us, but I will be sending it again tonight. So if you're on our email list, you'll be getting that. But start with choosing one thing. Like,
don't look at the 100 pages and
No.
pick out 50 things to tick on.
But just look at one diffuser blend recipe, or look at one room spray, right? Or one facial for yourself, like to treat yourself, or a foot bath or something. Like, think about what little things can I swap out. Cooking, there's some suggestions for flavoring, baking, and cooking, and waters, and all the fun things. Derek mentioned too about, I know we're at our 30-minute, I said 30.
We did, but we're doing okay.
We're okay. If you have to leave, that's okay. But what Derek was talking about, generally regarded as safe, is what a lot of these products that are allowed to be on our shelves are sold as. And you'll see other essential oil brands that are generally regarded as safe, right? But when you're looking at doTERRA's oils, they go above and beyond that. So it's above organic certification. They literally made sure that there is zero pesticides, zero metallics, or any of that kind of stuff, any impurities in your oils. Check out sourcetoyou.com if you want more information about that. It is amazing to see the science and see it laid out. You can actually have the printout of what's exactly in your oil, which is just the chemical composition of the essential oil.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no fillers, there's no anything like that. So it meets above and beyond that GRAS certification that many and all products have to go through. Like, there's flavorings that are sold as GRAS, generally regarded as safe. That doesn't mean that it's good for you, right?
Yeah.
All those food dyes and all that stuff. So just take a look at it, see what little swap outs you can make. Maybe you're running low on your favorite room spray, so make a little switch. Like, look up the recipe for that and see what that does for you. And you have the power to make whatever you want. You want your house to smell like Christmas all year long? You got it. You want it to smell like a apple orchard? You got it, right? Which is funny, actually. You can make different citrus oils smell like apple, and Douglas fir. That's a little trick. Anyways, you can do whatever you want. You have the power. You don't need anyone to tell you that you can or cannot do something. We want everyone who joins in doTERRA to feel empowered to make these swaps and to use it alongside whatever is working for you, right? doTERRA prides itself on working with modern healthcare, modern medicine. They would never suggest you ditch everything that the medical establishment has to say and just use oils. Like, that is crazy. That is not what they want.
Nope.
But like, where can you make those little swaps, or where can you use something instead of always reaching for something that you know you're gonna have to pay for later, right? I'm trying to think of this one thing you told me about in medicine and about like pharmacology, and how when, I think it goes right back to, was it Socrates? Oh no, but it's like, do no harm.
First, do no harm.
Like, first do no harm. Mm-hmm. And then when
Perium non cessare.
Nice. And when they first started to make medicines, right? A lot of people don't actually, consider this, but the medicine was given to help whatever the problem was. But then they knew, and they always told you, and they always made sure that it was taken care of, the recovering from the medicine. So I don't know if you remember any of that, but
Don't remember that.
but you have to heal twice is basically whatever
Yes.
this philosopher, one of the modern medicines.
Because sometimes
first
we need
people.
medicines and there are consequences to taking that, and you need it.
Yeah.
And a great example of this, very well known, lots of research done on it. You have an infection, you take antibiotics, the antibiotics treat the infection.
Which you need to do.
Which you need to do. But
Yes.
then, unfortunately, it destroys all your gut flora, throws it all out of whack, and your GI system's off track. And now you've got to fix that. So you've taken a medication, it works fantastic to do exactly what it's supposed to do, but now you got to repair the damage that it caused as a byproduct, and looking at prebiotics and probiotics so that you can do exactly that.
And so how can we use like what we've been talking about in a way that doesn't disregard the effectiveness or I don't know, the importance of being able to have those modern medicines? Like, my gosh, like, no, okay. But what can we do when you first start to feel like things are getting run down? You start to feel that little scratch, or you're a little bit more moody than you normally are, or you feel like you're off, right? Like, what kinds of things can you do before you let it get to the point that you're like, I need something for this right now, which we all get. Like,
Yeah.
There's no way to prevent it altogether. Your body's supposed to react. By the way, you're supposed to get fevers. So your body is actually dealing with it.
But if you start to listen to your body and you hear the signals before you get to that point, those are the times you can make a shift, make a switch, point in a different direction by doing some really healthy choices, and give your body the best chance to not end up down that road.
Yeah, exactly. So look at prevention first. I think that's something that we don't talk about enough. What can you do to help with the prevention? A big part of that is reducing your toxic load. So you don't have to buy doTERRA products, you don't have to do whatever, but just look at reducing your toxic load and just how that can change your life. Like, honestly, everyone needs to hear that message. And then what can you do to be able to hear those signals in your body? What can you do for yourself so it doesn't get to the point of it being out of control where your body needs additional help, right? Yeah, and something to add to that, I didn't hear that. As a 23-year-old woman, I was not hearing that little voice saying, you know what, your mood's kind of crummy, or, you know, this headache you're having signals a bigger problem, or it's giving like warning signals. Like, these things that go on in our bodies, your body's working for you and with you. It's telling you something's going down. You're having weird digestive stuff happening. You don't normally have that. That's a warning signal. If you're starting to get sweaty from going up the stairs when you don't normally, that's a warning signal, right? Like, Derek and all the paramedics on our page here are like, no, those are the first signs of a larger issue. And if we let them carry on, they can turn into big events. But I wasn't hearing those things. And when you look at what a toxic load can do to your body, how it affects your nose, your nasal passage, your throat, your eyes, your brain, like, brain fog is a real deal. And feeling numbed out is legit. And you don't have to be consuming alcohol or whatever to feel numbed out. You can just have beautiful candles burning like I did over a long period of time. You can be dousing yourself in all the beautiful, am I gonna get sued if I say a name brand? Okay, yeah, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. But I was doused myself, okay? That numbs you out to your body's response. So when you are inundated with that, right? It's everywhere. Laundry detergents, all sprays, all perfumes, all shampoos, everything has it. And when you're constantly affected by it, your natural systems and warning signals get numbed down, get tuned out, because it's just so used to feeling
You've been hitting
repressed.
The panic button. You keep hitting the panic button all the time, and eventually your body says, no, I'm not listening to that anymore.
Totally. Like, I wouldn't be able to hear, like, or sense or feel that something was totally out of whack, because I was assuming that's how it was supposed to be. And so I was allowing for others to tell me what to do, fix me, give me the next prescription or whatever it is that I need. I want to get rid of this problem, and I wasn't listening to myself, and I wasn't even experimenting to see what I could do for me. But when I first got that little message that there's another way, and what if one drop of peppermint can turn your whole day around, I was very intrigued, very curious about what that could do. What would my life look like if I started to take some stuff out and not miss out, but add in the good, right? So that's what sovereignty is. It's you being able to take your control and your power back. You decide what makes me feel good, or if I'm not feeling anything, ooh, that's an issue, right? So, you know, your nose is supposed to be able to smell. Your lungs are supposed to be able to open up fully. You should be able to get tired at night. You should be able to digest in a nice way, right? You should be able to wake up without 10 cups of coffee. So if you're feeling that brain fog and those things, that's your body saying, warning, warning, we need to do something.
Going down the wrong track.
And so you're here, so don't let this be a doom and gloom message. Let it be one that empowers you to say, or not even empower you, but just make you curious. What could I swap out? What could I change?
Yeah. This is the opportunity for for you to do what you want to do, not
Absolutely.
what Derek and Gwen want you to do.
Totally.
It really is about you getting to make your own choices. And I think this time that we've been afforded over the last few months has given a lot of time for self-reflection. And now is the time where you get to say, yeah, I'm going to do these things for myself. I'm going to make these changes. I am going to be the healthiest person I can be, which nothing is out there talking about that at the moment. Nothing is more important than you being healthy.
Right.
That is the most important thing you can do for yourself right now. So look at the things you're doing, pick one thing, start working on it.
Yeah, exactly. What can you do for yourself so that your immune system is good, not just blocking out, right? Not just always in defense mode, but can you go on the offensive here, and can you actually do good things for yourself so then when you are met with that germ, stress, whatever, that you can do, like your body feels prepared to do something about it. Like, wouldn't that be amazing?
And if you're looking for someone to cheer you on and coach you, like we're
That's
here
us.
we're here to do that.
Yeah.
If you're looking for someone who's gone through those struggles, maybe we have too. Maybe we've gone through that one, or we've already helped someone who has gone through them, so we can share some enlightenment, some wisdom on that topic. So don't hesitate to reach out to Gwen or I, whichever you prefer to talk to, or both of us.
Yeah.
Or you can talk to Leo. He's been talking a lot today, but he might not give you the best advice.
Yeah.
But just reach out and we can help you through some of these things and find some solutions that work for you, because it's really about you.
And they're not always going to be gigantic changes that you're going to notice right away. It's going to be something that you'll find over time. And I think with a lot of things in life right now that people, and I've been guilty of saying some of these myself too, is just, well, what if it doesn't change my whole life all at once or in this one section at all? Like, what if I don't get relief from this or that? Or what if I, well, and to that, I've learned and I've accepted, and I actually feel really good about feeling insane, is that if it doesn't solve whatever issue just magically overnight or even in a year from now, what was the harm in making some swaps that are legitimately better for your health, right? At the very least, it's reducing your toxic load. So, it might not be able to switch that gene right away for you, off or on, but what's the harm in swapping out something that's going to have less of an impact, negative impact on your body, on your brain, on your mood, emotions, on that immune system, and just the quality of life that you have, right? What's so wrong about that, or what would be so terrible about that if you can breathe a little more clearer this fall leading up into winter?
That sounds good.
Right?
I know when I think about sovereignty, I think like we're all on our own boat, and it's our boat.
Yeah.
And it's really up to us where we sail that boat. But if you're going across the ocean, like we all are in our journey of life, however many years that is, and you hit the waves, you hit the storms, and you don't make the course corrections, you will end up in a totally different place. Those little course corrections change where you end up. So it really, really is up to you what course corrections you're going to make and where you're going to end up on the other side of the ocean.
Totally. And to note that Derek's boat is a lot different looking than my boat and than your boat. And like everyone has a different size and how fast that boat can go and how great it can navigate, right? And
but
maybe
we all
it has
want to
more
end up somewhere good.
experience. Yeah, exactly.
We all want to end up somewhere good. We all want to take on those storms and those waves as best we can. And so those things we do share. And that's why it's really cool we get to do this all together.
And we all start in the same place. We all start on day one and step one, and that slight difference or that curiosity, right? We are all learners. We all began at one time. So let these ideas empower you. Let them help you through whatever this fall brings. Let it be that change in lifestyle for you, and we're here to help. We're here to guide, and we're going to do even more things to make sure that you have the info available in easy spots for you. So,
and thank you for joining us for this 4-part series. We really had a lot of fun going over these 4 topics, and there's definitely going to be some more little mini series, very focused, and definitely what you want to do, check out Live Health Forward on YouTube, subscribe, and that way when we load up these new episodes, it just drops in your email, you get it. We will be, of course, adding them into our monthly boxes,
Yep.
but then you gotta wait, you know, throughout the month for those episodes to come out and see them on YouTube. So just go ahead and subscribe in there, and then that way you'll get to see all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was it.
That's it.
The other only thing I want to mention is that I've been talking with a lot of educator friends and a lot of our friends that have kids that are pretty anxious and overwhelmed right now about going back to school. And so I am gearing up a class especially for educators, kids, and parents. Little quick simple things, like not a long drawn out thing, just a few things to make some starts to your day, your sleep routine. It's going to be very simplistic. So all of these series, we've been very detailed, but it's going to be a quick like survival guide, like a really quick one, just to help you prepare for what is to come. So maybe you can have a little more control over emotions, or maybe you can just feel comfort in a routine. That's, again, take it or leave it, but yeah, I think it's going to provide some help. So
I'll take it.
Stay tuned. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining live and for watching on the playback. And if you have any questions, let us know. That's what we're here for. And take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.